Hello. I was still making its way into full screen, but we can live with that. Um, so this is part two to what is a cult and how do you create one. So we went over what a cult is, which is a small organization with intense fanatical beliefs that use manipulative tactics to keep its members involved and present. So we're going to hop right into then what are tactics that you can use to start creating your cult and then from there to start writing your manifesto. I'm going to end with a couple examples from previous classes, and I'm also going to start because she's back. I just really like this cat. I've got one more. He's somewhere around. So, let's go back to this nice little PowerPoint, which I will upload to Canvas, as always. So, some ways to start writing and creating your cult. You want to get your concept down first, which have some fun with it. Go a little wild, go a little crazy, see where this whole concept can take you. This is meant to be a fun assignment. And as fun as an assignment can be. So, here are some concrete things that you can do to start writing your manifesto. And I do want you to literally do these things. If we were meeting in class, I would literally make you do this. So take the initiative and just do it. So, one, make a list of your cult's beliefs and desires. Make the list as long as you can. So just keep writing and writing and writing until you've hit all the ones you want. Then revise the list. Which are the most compelling of the sentences of beliefs that you wrote about? Which are the most dynamic, the most provocative and attention grabbing? Again, this is not the time for subtlety. This is the time for extremes. Aspirational sentences, which are sentences that make people want to aspire to something. Rather than getting detailed at the beginning of writing your cult and creating it, write 2 to 3 strong, emphatic statements that articulate the beliefs and desires. Distill these beliefs as much as you can and then make them as strong as you can. I recommend going back and looking at the Young Lords Manifesto because they do a really good job of this. And then lastly, ask yourself, does this manifesto inspire people to join your cult? Hey, you good? You good? Does this challenge the status quo in any way? So when you're writing your manifesto for your cult, and when you first start thinking about your cult, make sure to ask yourself, what does my cult believe? Who does it stand against? What is the status quo that it wants to change? And how does it get its members to join? And we'll be going through stuff like this again throughout the rest of this semester. But this is a place to get started. So start with a concept of what is your cult? And then go through these instructions to see how you can start writing your manifesto. This all seems pretty challenging. So I'm going to give a couple examples from previous classes. Whoops, that's not how that works. Let me hop on over. Cool. Okay, so the first one was this group called themselves SALT. I don't know why it won't let me do this. SALT, which was Saving Animal Lives Together. Which on the surface, SALT was a nonprofit dedicated to ending animal cruelty. In reality, it was a cult dedicated to worshiping animals as their overlords and enacting violence on people perceived to be a threat to animals. So they said they were a nonprofit, but really they were killing people who were cruel to animals. I had a Church of Jesus. Their mission was to expand human consciousness to its full potential while coming together to worship Kanye West, their Christ reborn, to earn eternal life. This was fun because they also had to all buy the Kanye West clothing line, and all the women had to get plastic surgery to look like a Kardashian. So that was really fun. And then lastly, there was this group, LAX. They sold themselves as a women fitness organization and a clean eating sorority. So all the kombucha and all that stuff you can get. Be slim, feel pretty, but behind the scenes, every 6 months, they would sacrifice their most beautiful member and then consume them so that the other members could have eternal youth. And then, being sacrificed was this huge honor that meant that you had achieved perfect, total perfection. So these are just some ideas of what you can do, right? You want to have these crazy ideas, you want your members to believe certain things, and then you want to have this strong crux of what you can do, which is all pretty fun. So again, these are kind of some short tactics, but we'll keep going over stuff. Pow, 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 pow.